but it's like when you come to Earth, she's showing me somebody that's getting like pushed off the end of a dock, sink or swim. Okay, so you're going to learn quickly what works and what doesn't. However, some individuals on Earth like to repeat the same pattern of behavior over and over, not realizing that they are a part of the problem, or not realizing that some individuals in their lives are a part of the problem. Okay. Hello, hello, everyone. Struggle and strife. What do your angels feel about that in your life? And that's what we're going to be talking about today, and also channeling some guidance from the angels in regards to struggle in life. And I also, I'm receiving this information as to Spirit wanting to talk about this topic, but also I would like to share my experience with this topic as well. Typically, when you have a difficult time in life, you'll go to some of your closest friends or family members, and you'll find that they have empathy for you. They're listening to you. I mean, they'll even jump off the cliff with you or for you. They'll come and suffer alongside of you, even go to bat for you, right? And I'm not saying that that's, detrimental for an individual. What I'm saying is that the approach that the angels take is different than that. And that is what I want to talk about today. So about 17 years ago, when I started to converse with my team of angels and Archangel Michael, I would be going through difficult times at that stage in my life. I was very much in the woe is me stage, and things are very hard and very difficult. I had a real lack mindset, so I kept creating experiences where I would experience lack in my life. And so when I turned to the angels, I suppose what I was expecting is what anyone would expect from a close friend or a confidant or your family member, to sit and listen to me pour myself out, which they do. Which, if you ever do want to complain to them or have free counseling, you can, and they love that because they just transmute any of that heaviness from you, and they transmute it into the light. So over time, you'll find that your mind becomes much more still and much more quiet and much more peaceful. And you can't go to the same worries and the same fears and the same complaining over and over and over again. Okay, so the more you hand off to them in the moment as you catch it, the better. And the more, if you ever feel like sitting and having a free counseling session and complaining, you can do that. If you want to get up and pace up and down the room and punch a pillow, yell, scream, you can do that too. And that's highly recommended, because there's only two ways that it goes. One, you get it up and out of you. And two, you stuff it down and take more of the quiet suffering approach, okay? Which I think a lot of us do in society. I think what I learned is that the angels won't take up the role of what I've seen others take up a role for me in my life when I am suffering. So I want to talk about first of all, why is it in life at times we have difficulties? Okay. Second, what can be learned from that? And then, of course, how do the angels view these struggles from their perspective? Okay. So when I turned to Agnes and I started to complain and expecting her to soothe me and comfort me and, whoa, oh, you poor thing, Kristin. Well, like I would expect from a friend, That's not what I received. And that was a bit surprising. Okay? It was quite surprising. I think I even complained to her and said, well, don't you, I mean, listen to me, listen to my ego. Listen to me complain and whine and whinge. But that didn't happen. Okay. So what I noticed coming from my guardian angel is a lot of patience, a lot of stillness, presence, just being present in the room while I'm going through it. Okay. And you understand that there's a bigger, broader purpose and picture as to why you're going through what you're going through, other than just, woe is me. Me. Okay. So you get out of the me mindset and you start to see a broader perspective when you are engaging with your guardian angels, much more so. And what happens is you will receive guidance and feedback from them. They'll never tell you what to do. Even when I was in the hospital and it was like, okay, I'm down to under 100 pounds and I need to know what to do. Never once did anyone tell me I had to have surgery. No one did. No one on the other side did. Because this is my life and my free will zone on earth. I had to come to that conclusion myself. I've gotten myself out of having surgery so many times. I thought, oh, I'll do it this time too. But it comes down the wire. It comes down to 8 years of suffering. And then you have to make a different decision for yourself. Talk about first and foremost, why is it life is difficult at times? So I'm going to channel my guardian angel on this topic, and then I'm going to move to the next. So why is it hard here at times? Okay, so first of all, the first thing that I'm receiving is the overall frequency here on Earth is, if we want to call it heavier or lower, it's in a lower dimensional frequency, although we are now beginning to ascend, which everyone here on the other side is elated and happy about. Okay, they have been for several years, so everyone's quite happy about that. Okay. Some of the difficult experiences that we have on Earth are experienced and chosen by our souls in order to learn and grow from. And that might be easier digested information. You know, it might be easy, it might not be easy for you to hear that. Like, why when my soul picked that? Okay. So your soul will make choices, decisions, and place that, I guess if you want to call it your soul contract, okay, it's a part of your soul contract, and make that decision and decide what it wants to learn and how it wants to learn through your vessel long before it enters your vessel. Okay. All right. And here's another part of it. Part of individual suffering on Earth is signing up to incarnate here to be a part of another person's suffering so that they learn and grow. And then she's using the word narcissists. So narcissists will sign up, we call it that, to be a part of the suffering and then hopefully growth, shifting and moving in a different direction, learning what is working and what is no longer working for you. It's all about steering us in the direction of self-worth, self-care, self-love. Hopefully. Okay. So there's that word hopefully, because it's our free will choosing to do so, isn't it? Okay. So anything else? She's talking about some of us sign up to be a part of a bigger picture or dynamic in social settings. So if somebody's like whining and complaining a lot, you can contribute in with that and add to that, almost like helping the person chase their own tail, or vice versa, you chasing your own tail, and then the person also contributes to a ring around the rosy. Okay. Or a family dynamic that may be unhealthy. There's a choice of contributing to that or not. Creating more stillness and separation to have your own frequency separate from this dynamic taking place in your family, if possible. Okay, so what is to be learned by all of this? She's talking about when a soul chooses to sign up to come to Earth, it's like fast tracking. So if it had easier lifetimes on easier planets or in easier locations, there would still be growth and learning. It might be in a different way. It would be much more enjoyable. But it's like when you come to Earth, she's showing me somebody that's getting like pushed off the end of a dock, sink or swim. Okay, so you're going to learn quickly what works and what doesn't. However, some individuals on Earth like to repeat the same pattern of behavior over and over, not realizing that they are a part of the problem, or not realizing that some individuals in their lives are a part of the problem. Okay. Ultimately, what all of us here want from each of you is to know that the path ahead, when one chooses the path of self-love and self-care, is a wonderful path to be had. However, just as equally so, we can make our path ahead more difficult for ourselves. So if we contribute our attention and focus into complaining, woe is me, sinking our frequency on a repeated basis with low vibrational thoughts, having a fragmented mind with thoughts that fire off in all sorts of different directions, ungrounded, things can get quite bumpy. Just like if we choose to spend moments of our day grounding our energy out in nature with meditation, maybe having that extra nap, however which way you choose to do this, handing off fragmented thought patterns, low vibrational thought patterns as they arise in your mind, so that we may transmute these into the light for you. Who you spend time around, what conversations and or complaining that you choose to be a part of or participate in, that can make things a bit bumpier. Okay. Some of you are ready for this and some of you are not. And equally so, both paths are okay. They're all right. However, now that you know, try to do the steps as suggested in the beginning of this video in order to free yourselves. Okay. All right. So when the angels are with you and you're struggling and things are hard, and maybe they've been hard repeatedly, maybe there's a pattern here. What I've come to realize for myself is, what is it in me that is a vibrational match for this? What is it in me, in my own thoughts, that is participating in this, or have I been focusing in this direction? So that'll be one thing. I'll see what I can do to shift and change my perspective in order to move in a different direction, move in a direction that I want to go in rather than where I am or what I'm in. It's literally like taking your foot out of the mud. Okay. And then, of course, when I tune in with my guardian angel, she's very still, very calm, and very patient. And then I look at different paths or solutions that might be beneficial, and then I'll put them across to see if she thinks that that path would be best or that action step would be best or not. And any one of us can use mediumship by just feeling a yes or no in the body when we ask them a question. Tight and pull back, no. Relaxed, yes. And if you get this, you can if you wish, but we'd rather you wait. Okay. Okay. So what is your perspective when you see me suffering? Okay. So her first word is wait. Allow Kristin to process, vent, let her emotions out. And if one so chooses, they can ask to have that transmuted all the time if they want. She's putting that out there. So if we want to have low vibrational thoughts, emotions, feelings transmuted, we can do that all the time. So I'm definitely going to ask for that, because then all of a sudden you'll have solutions. You'll have more peace, stillness. You'll know the way. More high vibrational people will be attracted to your frequency. If I'm complaining all the time and I'm in the mud, how many people are going to be signing up for that? Probably not many. I remember when I was unwell and suffering, people don't even want to be around you when you're suffering and you're not even complaining. I suffered in silence. I just ate my diet and I rested a lot. I was in and out of hospital. I was on some drugs at first, and then the drugs stopped working, and you just got to suck it up, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's all about being strong for oneself and getting through it. But even when people don't tend to want to be around, and if they do come around, how long are they going to stick it out with you? It takes a real special person to be there for the longevity, doesn't it? They might be there for you for a month, maybe 2 months. But if they can't eat with you, they don't have anything in common with you because your mind is on pain a lot of the time, right? How long are they going to stick it out for? Okay, so let's ask for that. Okay, so how would we ask for that? Low vibrational thoughts, emotions, feelings, please be transmuted as they arise. Therefore, I will free myself, free my mind, free up my energy, and move in a much healthier, high vibrational direction. And this will also help me to get off the little hamster wheel of constantly going in one direction. If one constantly goes in this direction, maybe they feel they need to. But years and years and years are going to go by. And at some point, you'll remember this conversation and you'll say, I think I'm done getting off the hamster wheel. She's also talking about it's important to talk to them or talk to someone to get things up and out of you. And when you do, they will be there to transmute that from you. When you complain, when you talk to someone, when you voice concerns, in we will come. So I never have Agnes feeling sorry for me. And she never does, well, she'll never do a woulda, coulda, shoulda. She'll never be like, well, you should have done it that way. Okay? She'll never do that kind of stuff. There's no judgment here. I find it interesting how some people believe that when you cross over, you get judged, because I get nothing, no judgment whatsoever at all, at any time, from anyone, ever. Okay? Never. There's no judgment here, ever. Not once. The only time I ever had a talking to was in the beginning of offering readings, and I started to give my opinion, and that's when the angel stepped in and asked me to give their guidance during this reading instead of mine. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense. That is who this person's here to talk to. It's not me. So I'll never ever have them feeling sorry for me or adding to what I'm complaining about, ever. Okay. And sometimes when I ask for a specific solution, or I think I have a specific solution, I'm being asked to go and maybe lay down and have a nap. I'm not even being told what the solution will be. It's just lay down and have a nap time. Okay. Just relax, decompress, process, and then let it go. There's a reason why we have amnesia coming into this. If you went and remembered all of your lifetimes before coming into this experience, what would that do to one's mind? That would be very difficult. Okay, you can read Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. There's a individual there who decided to come to Earth without producing the amnesia effect. And it was very hard and very difficult for that individual when you read that book, and you'll get a taste of what that's like. Okay? Because you're not just incarnating on Earth, you're incarnating in multiple other bodies, multiple other frequencies that are vastly different than Earth. And to think that our minds in this lifetime can handle that? And some of these lifetimes and some of these experiences are in much higher vibrational frequencies, right? So what are the chances that I'm going to want to stick around here if I've had super high vibrational experience in lifetime somewhere else, right? The comparison of that memory of frequency alone I wouldn't want to hang out and probably make it out. Keep it going. But just as the angels say, we can create our own experience here. So if we want to lift and raise, we can at any given moment. One great step that I've found works really well for me is to not blame others. Okay? It's like, well, you allowed that, Kristin. It's not that I'm going to blame a person or an experience forever, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's my vibrational frequency. It might take me a little bit, but I will course correct. You know, I think that everyone is feeling that way on Earth right now, Monique. There's a real fatigue. There's a lot of energy shifts and changes taking place. And I think as we get older, we buck the current a little bit more. It's any resistance can be tiring if you're constantly resisting. Letting go of other people's opinions of you really helps as well, and letting go and going with the flow. But when we're constantly hyper focusing and we have our minds busy and going all the time, that is exhausting. Yeah. I think right now it is a lot about resting. There's a massive amount of shift of energy taking place on the planet and within us. And to think that we're going to get up and go do a full-time job and bounce right back into the 3D job market, I don't think so. So If you're feeling tired as well, what I'm receiving is you're meant to rest. So I don't know if you've come out of more of a 3D, maybe full-time work environment that was maybe not as high vibrational as your life right now. But a lot of times the angels will just ask us to rest before we step forth into doing something else. So if you go from heavy, full-on 3D job and now you're awakening and you think, okay, well, I'm gonna bounce onto something else and I'm going to just dive in. 99.9% of the time they're asking us to rest. Also, we're being asked to rest a lot of the time and being forced with fatigue in order to decompress, relax, and that allows for manifestation, for them to help us more freely and more fluidly. They're always helping us, but when we kind of get out of the way, okay, they can help us even more so. Yeah, a good rest, especially, for example, with you, Dee, when you were in such a profession as a sheriff and you went for 20 years, and before that, you know, yeah, 1 year off. 1 year off sounds really nice. I think you can give that to yourself after pushing so hard your entire life. We're just asking for a little in your life to rest. Oh, and sometimes you need that length of time because you're so used to going all the time in your 3D job. You need that 1 year to step back and decompress and rest. Okay. Oh, when you look at family members, like so many of my family members drink, so many of them drink. And it's like, oh, it's no big deal. Shot. I used to be one of those people. I was one of those people. Okay. I was backpedaling in the pool with my Mai Tai and my, like, oh my God, if you had told me that, drinking was affecting me, I knew near the end it was. But in my heyday, I would have laughed in your face pretty much. Okay. Your male guardian angel stepping in. He tells me his name is Levi. Levi. He's spelling it out for me. He's really fast paced. I don't know if you're a bit younger or you have a youthful spirit, but your male guardian angel's pretty peppy. Okay, go ahead. It's what you need. That's how they'll come through. It's what you need. Or it will be a match for you. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Okay, they're showing me a bit of stagnancy. Okay. Stuck or stagnant a bit. So what's next when we're stagnant? I almost feel like he's trying to get you up out of a chair and get you up and out. What is that? Okay, good. It's about getting your energy going and shifting you out of the stagnancy. That's what's coming up next. Do you want to ask anything else? That's too funny. So what's coming up for you, Deborah, spiritually? The question from your team is, what do you want coming up next for yourself spiritually? So it's almost like they're waiting on you. And when you decide what you want next, then everybody else will move into alignment. I have a friend of mine who has been wanting something to happen next, but nothing was happening next. But at the same time, it was a lot of hanging back and stagnancy. So once this friend of mine got up and started taking action steps, the ball started rolling and everybody was like, okay, my friend is doing something. He's taking action steps. He's moving. So everybody comes into alignment. Everybody is waiting on us to decide what direction we want to take. Okay. And always when we are looking at potential paths to take, we're seeing how it feels in the body. The mind is quiet, but we're feeling if this seems like a good path or not. If it's something you keep thinking of regularly and it feels really good and you're getting butterflies and your chest is really open and you get this excitement, that's where you go. They're going to get your energy up and going. Our energy has to get up and going for something to take place next. Otherwise, it will be more of the same. Okay. So that's what they're going to do. So sometimes they'll, urge us to move, or they're going to get us moving in a direction, going to the gym and working out to get the energy and the blood flowing in the body, or taking a water aerobics class, or going for a run with a friend, or they'll throw something like a curveball into our lives to force us to get outside of our comfort zone, because so many of us are so comfy in this comfort zone. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Never be scared, Lewis. Never. Okay? If you knew how much light you had around you, you would never, ever be scared ever again. Ever. Your team of angels would never, ever let that happen. So if you're in a peaceful meditation, never be fearful. Okay? Let your angels take the lead. You can, and if you want to add to that, you can ask Archangel Michael to move into your home. Now he goes with you everywhere. Okay? So the key is, now you've got your spiritual bouncer there. There's nothing to be fearful ever again. Okay? So and then that way we can go with the flow and we're not sitting there all. Fear is really something that is systemic in the society. But when I turn to the angels and I look at the archangels or Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, all of them, Kuan Yin, never once, not one time, not even an inch of fear or worry from any one of them. Not ever. Not even remotely. So there was only one person to turn to, and that was myself. Okay, it's really, I guess, learned behavior. There we are. I felt like you were young. I could feel it from your angel. Yeah. They're going to get you going, get you up and moving. Why am I seeing you sit in a chair? Are you sitting in a chair often? And they're trying to get you out of the chair. Let me know, Lewis. It's the law of attraction. So if I continuously allow fear to run my show, then I'm going to continuously attract in things to be fearful about, because I am the manifester, right? I am the being of light and love that gets to decide what's going to continuously take place. I remember getting really worked up in November, and I was getting really worked up about people in my life that were new in my life that I was handling. And the only thing I ever heard from Archangel Michael was, don't allow others' thoughts and their behaviors to rock your boat. Alrighty then. So you're a little bit more introvert and hanging out at home a lot more, which, that's fine too. But they're going to help you get up and out. Okay? It's not to do with sports or moving your body. It's about getting you up and out, getting you, what are we doing here? You getting him out of the chair, and then where's he going to go? Getting your energy. So how that's going to play out is, all of a sudden you have the energy and you can't just sit at home because you got all this energy and you want to get up and get out and do something, meet new people, have new experiences. That's what's going to happen. It's not about sports or So if you listen to the recording yesterday, I talk about the upcoming classes right in the beginning. And if you want to go to KristinDaviesMedium.com, they're all listed right there under Book Now. I hear you too, Lewis. Sometimes I get like, a cup of tea, and I'm going to hang out at home, and I'm going to read a book, And then all of a sudden I get a rush of energy and it's go time. Where am I placing that energy and what am I going to do? And then, of course, then at that same time, I'll get insights and information from spirit. So it'll be a thought form that'll drop in your head as to where I should go and place this energy next. So that's cool. So I'll put the link to my website if anybody wants to check. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dee. Dee's already put it in there. Thank you. Oh, yay. I'm going to put up some classes coming up over March and April as well. So check out those. Those will only be hour-long classes. But I like to pack a lot of punch into what I do. So let's get ready to rumble. All right, everyone. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.